"Get out of here, old man! I told you I don't have change for beggars." That was the last thing 72-year-old Mr. Raymond heard before the bakery door slammed shut. The cold streets of Detroit cut like a knife as he pulled his torn coat tighter and shuffled down the wet sidewalk. It was exactly 1 year since he had buried his beloved wife. Since then, no one had called him by his name. He was just the old man who begs by the church corner. But the worst part wasn't the hunger. It was the feeling of being completely invisible. Every single night, before lying down on a cold park bench, he'd whisper a prayer into the darkness. "Lord, if you can still hear me, please just let me feel your presence one more time." On this night, the rain poured down in sheets. The wind howled through the alleys as Raymond shivered, clutching a small, soaked Bible, the only memory he had left of his wife. Suddenly, the headlights of a pickup truck cut through the gloom. It stopped right in front of him. A man got out, leaving the engine running, and called out, "Hey, are you okay? Come on, get in. I know a shelter nearby." Raymond hesitated, his heart pounding. But something deep inside told him to trust. When they arrived, he saw it wasn't a shelter. It was a small, simple neighborhood church, glowing with warmth and filled with the sound of people singing. The man who had brought him there was the pastor. He smiled warmly and said, "Tonight's service is for a miracle. We asked God to send us someone who needed to hear that there's still hope." Tears streamed down Raymond's face. These words were the direct answer to the prayer he had whispered just hours before in the cold rain. In the days that followed, Raymond stayed. He helped clean, arranged the chairs, and lovingly tended to the flowers. He started writing small Bible verses on little notes, leaving them on the pews before each service. One day, a young woman approached him, her face wet with tears. "I was going to end my life today," she sobbed. "But I found this note on the pew. It said, 'God still sees you.' Was that you?" Raymond smiled softly, his own eyes glistening. "No, dear. It was him. I just write what he makes me feel." A week later, the pastor called him to the pulpit. He put a hand on Raymond's shoulder and told the congregation, "This man came here looking for shelter. But he's the one who reminded all of us that God still speaks, sometimes through the very ones the world forgets." Raymond looked up toward the ceiling, whispering, "I just wanted to feel your presence again, and you used me so others could feel you too." When everything in your life feels silent, it doesn't mean God has stopped speaking. It might just mean he's preparing the perfect moment to speak through you. If you believe God still shows up on life's coldest nights, comment faith below and share this story with someone who needs to be reminded of it.